some body scan and then meditation on the breathing. And then the second part of the evening, second part of this class tonight, we'll do another meditation. Tonight we'll do something different than what we have been doing. We have been doing more sort of analytical meditations, thinking meditations. So tonight we'll do a visualization meditation on in Tibetan Buddhism, there's many different Buddha images. These are all enlightened beings representing all the positive energy of the enlightened mind, and meditating on them, visualizing them and meditating on them is a way to help us get in touch with our own enlightened potential, the potential we have within ourselves, within our minds, to become enlightened as well. So tonight we'll do a meditation on Tara. Is a female, like the statue here on the side, female Buddha, female form of the fully enlightened state. Okay, so let's start by sitting comfortably. Get yourself into a comfortable position for meditation. And before we begin, let's take a few minutes to try to set our motivation, our reason for being here tonight. So you can first just look into your mind and ask yourself, why am I here? Why did I come here tonight? So it may be because of seeking something, seeking answers to questions, help for problems, more peace in our minds and ourselves. So each and every one of us, and all other beings as well, have within our minds, within our hearts, this longing for peace, for happiness, for satisfaction, fulfillment, and longing to be free of pain and sorrow and unhappiness and problems. This is something all beings who have a mind, all sentient beings have in common. We all feel this way. And it's not wrong to feel this way. It's completely right. We actually have the right to be peaceful, happy, satisfied, fulfilled, and free of all problems and pain and suffering. So it's completely okay to long for that, to wish for that, to seek that. And it is possible. It's not something impossible. It's not like a total fantasy. It is possible to find peace and happiness and freedom from suffering. The Buddha found it. And then he spent his life teaching how to do it. Many of his followers, by listening and practicing what he taught, they also achieved peace of mind and happiness. And we can too. It's not something that can happen immediately, overnight, in a week or a month or a year. It takes time. But even to just start practicing what the Buddha taught, looking into our mind and learning how to deal with our mind in a more skillful way, we can already start to experience more peace and happiness. We probably already experienced that, and that's why we're here. So it's good to have this wish for peace and happiness for ourselves, but it's also good if we can open our mind, expand our mind, and think not only about ourselves, but also about others. How nice it would be if we could also help others to find more peace, more happiness, satisfaction, and fulfillment. So if you feel comfortable with that idea, then you can think that your reason for being here tonight is to help not only yourself, but also to help others. This is actually something that happens naturally anyway, because when we feel more peaceful and happy and positive and have more good energy inside of us, we naturally want to share that with others, and we do share it with others. Others pick up on it. So see if you can hope that our meditation here tonight will be helpful and beneficial for ourselves, also for others, and even for the whole world. Now let's start the body scan. So I'm going to mention different parts of the body, starting with the top of the head and going down. So just do the best you can to stay attentive and focus on the part of the body I mentioned. And just see if you notice any sensations in that part. If there's any tension, then try to let it go, let it relax, let it melt and flow away, disappear. So start with the top of your head. Feel the top of your head. Let that area become relaxed. And next, feel your forehead and let that area relax. And then relax your eyes. Let all the muscles around the eyes and behind the eyes relax. And then feel the rest of your face and relax all the other muscles in your face. But you might want to have a bit of a smile on your mouth. And then feel the right side of your head. Let that area relax. And then relax the back of your head. And then relax the left side of your head. And now see if you can go inside of your head and see if you notice any sensations inside your head. And if you notice tension or pain inside of your head, see if you can let it go. Imagine it melting and flowing away, disappearing. So try to have the whole of your head, both the outside and the inside, as relaxed as possible. And next, move your awareness into your neck and throat. And if you notice any tension, sometimes we have tension in the back of our neck. So if there's any tension, let it go. Let it melt and flow away. Now move your awareness down into the upper part of your back. That's another area where tension sometimes collects. So if there's tension there in your shoulders, your shoulder blades, shoulder muscles, if you can let it go, let it melt and flow away. And don't worry if you're not able to let go of all tension. There might still be some knots of tension remaining someplace that you can't let go of. Don't worry about that. Feel that you're just trying your best to let go of tension, but you may not be able to let go of all of it. That's okay. Just let it go. Leave it and just do your best. And then let your awareness continue moving down through your back, relaxing the middle part of the back, all along the spine, the muscles on either side of the spine. And the lower part of the back. So try to have the whole of your back as relaxed as possible. And then shift your awareness to the front part of your body, starting with the chest. Let your chest relax. Let your lungs relax, your heart. Continue to move your awareness down through the middle part of your body, relaxing the area of the abdomen, the diaphragm, the abdomen, including all the internal organs, the stomach, digestive system, and all the muscles. then take note of your breathing. Let your breathing be natural, smooth, steady. But that doesn't mean controlling your breathing. So try to avoid controlling, regulating your breathing, and just allow your body to breathe. Allow the breath to flow in and flow out in a natural way. And that itself can help to be more relaxed. And then move down to the area around the pelvis, hips, buttocks. If you notice any tension in that area, see if you can release it, let it go. Let it melt and flow out of you, drain out of you. And then the right leg, let your awareness move down into the upper part of the right leg and relax that area. And the right knee. And the lower part of the right leg. And finally the foot, the ankle, the foot, the toes. And then shift your awareness to the upper part of the left leg. And then the left knee. And the lower part of the leg. And then the left ankle and foot and toes. Try to have the whole of your legs, both legs, as relaxed as possible. And now we have the arms to do. So let's start with the right arm. Bring your awareness to the upper part of the right arm. And then the right elbow. And the lower part of the arm. And the wrist, hand, and fingers. And then the left arm. Start with the upper part of the arm. Then the elbow. The lower arm. And the wrist, hand, and fingers. So now we've gone through the whole body, tried to relax the whole body. So try to maintain whatever level of relaxation you've been able to reach. Try not to let your body become tense again. But if that does happen, if tension pops up in some part of the body, And again, just put your awareness there briefly and tell it to relax. Imagine the tension melting, flowing away. And continue breathing in and out in a natural way. And put your awareness, your attention on your breathing. But do this in a light way, not in a heavy, forced way. Do it with a kind of light, gentle state of mind. And you can watch your breath at whatever place you can feel it most easily, most naturally. The main point is to try to stay with the breath, the sensations felt as the breath is flowing in and flowing out, and try to stay with it continuously. But of course, that's difficult to do because our mind naturally jumps from one thing to another. It doesn't stay with one thing for very long. So just be aware when that happens, when your mind jumps away from the breath to something else. And don't beat yourself up for that. Just be patient with yourself, kind with yourself, and gently let go of that other object or thought or memory or whatever it is. Let go, put it aside, and come back to the breath. So even being able to stay focused on the breath, one inhalation and exhalation is quite an accomplishment. And you might notice that if you can stay with the breath, even for one breath or even for half a breath, you'll probably find it does help you to be more relaxed, more peaceful, more calm, more happy. And if you can notice that, that might inspire you to try to stay with the breath more rather than wandering off, letting your mind wander off and think about other things. And so remember, you can always come back to the breath. The breath is like home base, like an anchor, bringing you back to the present, to here and now. We cannot stop noise sounds from happening around us. Cars, people talking, music. And so we have to learn to just ignore it, shut it out, and stay focused on our breath or whatever we're meditating on. And in a similar way, we can't really stop thoughts from coming up in our mind, but we can just ignore them and stay focused on our object of meditation. Just be aware of all the other things, external noise, internal thoughts, memories, and so on. Be aware that those things are happening. But then let them go, put them aside, and come back to the breath. And also be aware of any emotional reactions that might arise, like annoyance, irritation, or attraction, liking, curiosity, fear, anxiety. So any emotions that arise, we can't stop them either, but we can just notice them and label them, make a note of them, and then let them go and come back to the breath. So you can always come back to the breath every time the mind gets distracted to something else. I'm wondering what is your experience with having the body scan before the breathing meditation? Do you think it helps? I know it helps me, so I just assume that it helps other people as well. I find it just helps me to be more relaxed, physically relaxed, and then it's easier to focus, to concentrate. Otherwise, if you're, just sit right down and you're still kind of, nervous and tense, and then you try to meditate, it's much more difficult. It's more difficult to concentrate. Is that your experience? It helps to concentrate. Mm. And actually, the body scan can be used as a meditation on its own. I don't know if you've come across that, but in the what's called mindfulness-based stress reduction programs, where they teach mindfulness to people to help with pain, with stress, with different kinds of emotional problems, sleeping problems, and so forth. That's usually the first meditation they teach, the first practice they teach. And sometimes people can have quite amazing experiences. They spend more time going through the body, sometimes 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 40 minutes, so you can really go through it in very great detail. And that itself can be very healing, very helpful. And then they move on to teach the actual mindfulness of the breathing. So it's a good basis, a good foundation, especially in our present day world with all the stresses and craziness and everything. So we tend to get very like that. Any questions? That's right. Mm. Yeah, maybe it's up to individual people as well. Some people might find it easier to start with one and with the other, so you can try both and see what works best. Mm. Anyone else? Any other? So I'll just give a little bit of explanation about the meditation we're going to do next, and then we'll do the meditation after the break. And so I think previously, I don't know if all of you were here, but we did do a very simple visualization practice from my book. It's called The Body of Light Meditation. Did any of you come for that? It was quite a long time ago we did that one. Body of Light Meditation. That's something I just invented myself because, since the beginning of my experience learning Buddhism from Tibetan teachers, I've been exposed to the practice of visualizing deities, and it was always hard for me. Tibetans, I don't know if it's hard for them or not, but they just kind of do it a lot, and it's sort of maybe they're just used to it. It's so much part of their tradition; they're just used to doing it. But I think for a lot of Westerners, it's not so easy, and it's not something we're used to doing. So it can be quite challenging. So when I started teaching meditation um, to Western people, I wanted to share this kind of practice of visualizing deities, visualizing Buddhas, but knowing that visualizing complex figures like a Buddha, like Tara, and so on is more challenging. And also, some people may have resistance to visualizing Buddhas if they're not quite sure about the religious side of Buddhism. Then that might be a challenge as well. So I thought maybe to just have a really simple object, like just a sphere of light that represents all good qualities. So I invented that meditation, sort of based on the Tibetan tradition, but um, something that people in the West. And so anyway, that's in my book, that the body of light meditation. And we have, sorry, yeah, I think we did it a long time ago. You visualize a ball of light either above your head or in front of you, and then it's just like pure radiant light, and then you think that this light represents all good things, like good qualities, love and compassion and patience and wisdom and so forth. So all the good qualities are embodied by that light. And then you imagine the light coming into you and merging with you, and you sort of become one with it, and you become one with all those good qualities. So it's like a Tibetan Buddhist deity practice, but without the deity. Instead of the deity, and when I say deity, I mean like these different figures, Buddhas and Tara and so forth. So there's many, many, many different deities in Tibetan Buddhism. Um, so using a more simple object. And so anyway, tonight I thought we could try a deity practice and use Tara, who's a very popular, it's popular among Tibetans and many Westerners as well, especially women, because Tara is a female figure. Most of the Buddhas are in male form. So for us females, it's nice to have a role model, a female Buddha. And so each of the different Buddha figures in Tibetan Buddhism has some sort of story behind it. So the story of Tara is that once upon a time, long, long ago, in some other universe, actually, um, there was this princess named Wisdom Moon, in Tibetan, Yeshidawa. And she had a very kind heart. And there was a Buddha, not Shakyamuni Buddha, but another Buddha around at that time. And she was very, very devoted to this Buddha. And she decided that she herself wanted to become a Buddha so that she could help all living beings. So she generated bodhicitta, the mind of enlightenment, and made that commitment to follow the path and become a Buddha and help all living beings. And she was working to help living beings as well while she was on the path. And there were some monks who heard about her wish, her aspiration, and they said to her, well, you should really pray to be born as a male, because, if you're born in a male body, then you'll be able to practice better. Things will go better for you. And she made some statement, I can't remember the exact words, but the idea was that there's no inherently existing male or female. That these are just conventions of the deluded world, something like that. So she kind of refuted what these monks were saying. And then she made the promise that she would always remain in female form. She said there's many who were working for enlightenment in the form of males, but not so many who were females. So I'm always going to stay in the form of a female all the way to enlightenment and afterwards, in particular to help women. So that was her aspiration. But so many women, female practitioners, are very attracted to Tara and like to do the practice of Tara. But also many male practitioners. One of the great Indian saints who was instrumental in bringing Buddhism to Tibet, Atisha, he's a great Indian master about 1,000 years ago, and he had a special connection with Tara. In fact, it was said that he had direct communication with Tara. Tara would appear to him and he would talk to her and ask questions and get advice and so forth. So he had a strong connection with Tara. So She's not only for female practitioners, but also for male practitioners. Um, and each of the different Buddha figures also, even though they're all fully enlightened beings, fully enlightened Buddhas, so they all have the same qualities, the same wisdom and compassion and love and so forth. But it's also said that each has a sort of particular speciality, a special way in which they help. For example, Manjushri, who's uh, behind the statue of Tara, there's a tanka of Manjushri. He's called the Buddha of Wisdom. So that's his speciality. So if someone's trying to develop wisdom or pass exams, they, they would pray to Manjushri, and that's to help their minds be more sharp and clear and intelligent. And then Chenrezig, another very popular Buddha in the Tibetan tradition. Avalokiteshvara is the Sanskrit name, Chenrezig is the Tibetan name. So he's the Buddha of compassion. And so those who are trying to develop compassion will focus on Chenrezig and recite his mantra, Om Mani Padme Hum. So that's to help with compassion. So in the case of Tara, Tara is said to be an embodiment of the skillful activities of the Buddhas, action, and her color, the color green, the green color is also associated with action, activity, movement. And it's also said that, if we need help quickly, like immediately, not tomorrow, next week, but, right away. So if we need help in a very quick way, then it's good to pray to Tara because, she sort of responds instantly. And there's lots of stories about Tara helping people in difficulties, even, if they're in trouble from robbers or being put in prison or lions, tigers, snakes, things like that. So like, dangerous situations. And praying to Tara, they often get help, get themselves rescued from these situations. But so Tara can help us with these sort of practical things, practical needs. But the real purpose, or real, reason for praying to Tara and practicing Tara is to cultivate wisdom. So she does represent wisdom as well, the wisdom of the true nature of all things, and all the other positive qualities as well, compassion, love, and so forth. So in the practice that we will do after the break, we'll visualize Tara. So I'll describe the visualization, and then you just try your best to visualize. I mean, some people say it's really hard to visualize, but if you think about it, you probably do have visual images in your mind that just arise naturally, spontaneously. Yeah. So, and also we can call images to mind. Like if I ask you to think of your house or your apartment, the place where you live, your bedroom, your bed, that place where you spend a lot of your time. So if you were to close your eyes, you could probably get a visual image, mental image. I don't mean visual like with our eyes, but within our mind, a mental image of that place. Is that right? I mean, some people are better at it than others. Some people are able to visualize really easily, especially if they're artists or architects or designers or film producers, people who work in media. They probably have an easy time to visualize because they're using that already in their work, or in their hobbies, whatever. Other people may have more difficulty, but it's something we can learn. It's something we can train in. Okay, so the more we use it, The more we practice it, the easier it will become. So I think one thing that's good to do is um, try. What I always tell people is just try the best you can to have the visualization, and don't be upset if it doesn't appear perfectly and clearly with all the details. Um, Especially if you're trying to do this for the first time, you're not very experienced with it, not so practiced with it, then you can't expect that it will be perfect. But just do the best you can and be happy with that. That's the important thing. Because otherwise, if you get frustrated and you start having thoughts like, "Oh, I can't do it. It doesn't work. And other people can do it, not me. And I'm so bad. I'm so loud." So we can get into whole stories like that about what a lousy meditator we are, or how hopeless we are, and how other people are better than us, and so on. So those kind of thoughts can arise in the mind, and that will just make things worse. Just going to make your mind more disturbed and agitated, and that doesn't help you to visualize. So try not to let your mind get caught up in those kinds of thoughts. Instead, just do the best you can and be happy with that, be comfortable with that, and don't try to compare yourself with others, because anyway, you don't know. We can't see other people's minds, so we can't really know if somebody else is doing better than we are. That's a total fantasy. So just think, okay, I'm going to do the best that I can, and the most important thing isn't so much having a perfect clear visualization, but rather having a feeling, a sense of the presence of the Buddha, Tara, or whoever we're visualizing, to try to feel that they really are there. That's the most important thing. To feel that we're in the presence of this being who has all these amazing qualities, just like total unconditional love and compassion, accepting us as we are, loving us, caring for us, wanting to help us and protect us and do everything for us and bring us all the way to enlightenment. And having the wisdom that sees the true nature of all things. I mean, these are qualities that may be hard for us to relate to because we might think, well, is that really possible? Does anybody really have those qualities? So we might get stuck on that kind of idea. But just try. One thing, it's like when we're children, when we're little kids, we play these games. Yeah, I'm sure everywhere in the world kids play games. And when I was a kid, it was cowboys and Indians, or Tarzan, swinging through the trees, or doctor, nurses. What do kids in Denmark play? What kind of games do you play? Vikings. Cops and robbers. Yeah, mommies and daddies. We also do that. Yeah. Hmm? Hmm? Barbies. Okay. Ponies. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That was another game I used to play with my friend. We pretended we were horses running around. So when we're kids and we're playing those kind of games, we just, we don't worry if it's true or not, if it's real or not. We just do it and we have fun and we enjoy ourselves. Yeah. So I think it's good to try to have that same state of mind when we're doing this kind of practice, to just not worry if it's true or not true, if it's real or not real, but just get into it and pretend as if it's real and enjoy it. So if you can get into that state of mind, that kind of mind we have when we're a kid, a child, and playing these games, then the practice will probably go much better. You'll probably get more out of it, enjoy it more. So anyway, we visualize Tara, and then try to, like I said, get a sense of her qualities, the qualities that she has, and really feel them, and really open up our heart, our mind to these wonderful qualities, and then um, think of what it is you would like to ask her. Ask for help in helping whatever problems you might have or things you want to accomplish or whatever. So ask for help. And then imagine light flowing from Tara into you and just completely filling you and clearing away whatever obstacles, problems, negative energy there is, just all that getting washed out of us. And then being filled with this positive quality, this positive energy, courage and kindness, compassion, wisdom, and so on. And then in the end of the practice, we imagine Tara coming and dissolving into us, and then becoming one. And this is a really powerful thing, because the idea behind these kind of practices is that we in ourselves, in our mind, we have the potential to become enlightened, to become just like the Buddha, just like Chenrezig, just like Manjushri, and all these deities, all these Buddha figures. So we can become just like them. We have already within us certain factors, we might say, that are like the potential, like seeds, like, just like a seed has the potential to grow into a tree or to grow into a plant, into a rose bush with all these beautiful roses. So all that potential lies within the seed. So it's like we have already within us certain seeds, certain factors which have the potential for us, to transform ourselves into enlightened beings. And this is what we call Buddha nature. So one of those factors is the ultimate nature of our mind, the emptiness of our mind, emptiness of existing inherently, independently, in a solid, fixed way. This is difficult to understand, but this is the ultimate truth, the real truth, the reality of all things in the universe. But it's also our own reality, the true nature of ourselves. And what it means, the significance of having emptiness as our ultimate truth, our ultimate nature, is that we can change. If we didn't have emptiness as our real nature, we would be stuck the way we are. We wouldn't be able to change. Yeah, we'd always be the way we are. That would be pretty depressing. But that's not the case. We're not stuck the way that we are, but we have the potential for changing. And it's because our existence is completely dependent on all kinds of factors, causes and conditions and parts and concepts and so on. So everything about us is dependent rather than independent, fixed, solid. So the fact that we depend on other things for our existence means that we can change, because just as causes and conditions change and shift, we, in dependence on causes and conditions, can also change. So just in a simple way, what it means is to have emptiness as our true nature means that we can change. We can totally change ourselves, totally transform ourselves. So that's one aspect of our Buddha nature. Another aspect is just our mind itself, the fact that we have mind, which has the basic ability to know things, to see, to know, to be aware. So that's part of our Buddha nature, because having awareness means we can develop awareness of the true nature of things. We can see things as they are. We can see truth. We can see reality as it is. And that seeing of reality, what we call wisdom that sees reality, sees the truth of things, that is what enables our mind to transform, to become free of our disturbing emotions like greed and hatred, ignorance, pride, jealousy. So all the disturbing emotions can be cleared away by seeing the true nature of things. And it also enables us to develop our positive potential, our positive qualities, our love and compassion and so forth. And those are also part of our Buddha nature. We have basic qualities: compassion, love, wisdom, patience. So we have those already. and they just need to be nourished, developed more and more and more. And then eventually they become enlightened love, enlightened compassion, enlightened wisdom, and so on. So, right now within us, we have certain elements or factors or parts of ourselves that once they are given the right conditions, the right nourishment, they can grow and transform, and eventually, our whole being becomes that of an enlightened being. So, so we have this potential, but sometimes it's hard for us to believe it. We tend to have doubt. We tend to focus on our faults and our mistakes and our negativities and our problems, and we tend to think that's all there is. And then we may feel kind of hopeless and think, oh, the Buddha's way up there, but I could never become like that. So, this kind of practice of visualizing a Buddha like Tara in front of us and then just contemplating her qualities and feeling inspired that, we can become like that as well. And then imagining in the end that she comes and dissolves into us and we merge and become one. So this is kind of like watering our Buddha nature, watering the seeds of our Buddha nature, of our potential for enlightenment. Yeah. So it's actually a very profound practice psychologically, giving encouragement to ourselves that we can become like that as well. So if you do this kind of practice again and again and again, every day, many times a day, then eventually, of course, we have to do other things as well besides this, but this is one very helpful practice for awakening our Buddha nature, watering the seeds of our potential for enlightenment. Okay, so that's just an introduction to the practice. Then let's have a break, and after the break, we'll do the practice. So make yourself comfortable. Try to get into as relaxed a state as you can physically, but not too relaxed in the sense that you might fall asleep. So if you are feeling sleepy, if you feel that you might start to fall asleep during the meditation, a way to prevent that is keeping the eyes open a little so there's some light coming in. And also sitting up straight can help to keep your energy more awake, more alert. So we need to find a balance between being alert and awake, but also relaxed, not tense or tight. And again, just let the breath flow in and out in a natural rhythm. And if there are any thoughts in your mind, for example, if you're starting to think about what you're going to do when we finish here tonight, when you leave here, or tomorrow, or anytime in the future, to put those thoughts aside for now. You can always deal with them later, but decide to just keep your mind focused in the present and on the practice that we are doing. And remember the motivation we started with, that we're trying to think of not just ourselves, but also of others, wanting to create as much positive energy as we can to benefit others as much as we can to benefit the world. Okay, so now I'm going to describe the visualization of Tara, and just do the best you can. But don't be frustrated if it doesn't work, if you're not able to see perfectly clearly, or even if you're not able to see anything at all. So just do the best you can. And again, the most important thing is to try to feel that she is there, even if you can't see her. So the visualization of Tara is in this space in front of you at about the level of your forehead and a certain distance away. Sometimes they say 2 meters, but you can make it whatever you're comfortable with. Not right in front of you, but some distance away. So, and the whole visualization is made of light, totally pure, transparent light. You can think of a rainbow. When we see a rainbow in the sky, sometimes it's really vivid and clear, but it's not anything solid or physical. We can't touch it or grab onto it. So the visualization of Tara is like that, just pure light, not solid or physical. So Tara has a body made of green, emerald green colored light. She's very youthful and very, very beautiful. And she's sitting on a lotus. So it's like a lotus flower with the petals spread out flat. And on top of the lotus is a moon disk, a flat disk of light representing the moon. So that's the seat on which Tara is sitting. And she's sitting with her left leg bent up, like in meditation posture, like we are sitting. But her right leg is a little bit extended out in front of her. And there's another little lotus on which her right foot is resting. So this way of sitting um, as an expression of her willingness and readiness to get up and come to help whoever is in need of help. So she's ready to jump up and go and help anyone who needs her. And then her um, right hand, right hand is resting on her right knee. And the palm is facing outwards, facing towards us. The fingers are kind of pointing downwards. This is called the gesture of giving. The mudra of giving signifies she's ready to give whatever she can to help whoever is in need of help. And then her other hand, her left hand, is in front of her heart chakra. And that hand is in a slightly complicated gesture. I'll describe it and you can try to visualize it. The the thumb and the ring finger of that hand are touching, making a kind of circle. So the thumb and ring finger touch, and the other three fingers are pointing upwards. So this is called the gesture of refuge, giving refuge. And in each of these two hands, she's holding the stem of a flower called an utpala flower. It's a very beautiful flower, blue in color. And this blue utpala flower symbolizes enlightenment, complete opening up of the mind and mind becoming enlightened. And she's wearing very beautiful clothing made of silk, like very soft, silky, divine material, different colors and shades, and very, very beautiful. And she also has jewelry, like a crown and earrings and so forth, that are made of gold and precious jewels. But again, these are just made of light. It's not like ordinary gold, ordinary jewels. But the clothing and the jewelry are actually manifestations of her inner qualities, like her patience and ethics and generosity and so forth. And her face is very, very beautiful, very sweet and smiling. So she has this expression on her face that shows her complete unconditional love and compassion and kindness towards each one of us and towards all other living beings. So it's similar to the way a mother will look at her little baby who she completely adores. Just complete kindness and caring and compassion. And she has very long and beautiful hair. So again, just do the best you can to have the visualization of Tara. And don't worry if you can't visualize all the details, if you can just have a rough image, general image. And even if nothing at all appears, don't worry about that. That's okay, because it might just take time for you to learn how to visualize. And again, the most important thing is to try to feel that she's really there. Try to feel that you are sitting in the presence of someone who's fully enlightened, whose mind is completely free of all the negative qualities like attachment, desire, greed, hatred, anger, pride, jealousy, confusion, delusion. So all those problematic qualities of the mind are gone completely, forever in her mind. And instead, there's only positive qualities: love and compassion, kindness, patience, wisdom, and so on. And it's also good to try to feel that you are completely accepted by her. There's no judgmentalness, no criticalness. And I mean, Tara's mind is able to see everything. So she can see into our minds. She can see all of our thoughts, all the things we've ever done, all our bad karma. So she can see everything about us. There's nothing hidden from her. But even though she can see everything, she doesn't judge us at all. She's completely understanding and caring and forgiving and completely dedicated to helping us, especially in our spiritual practice, helping us develop our spiritual potential. And she'll never give up on us, never abandon us. So she'll always be there for us until we ourselves become enlightened. And now make a prayer from your heart in your own words, your own thoughts. Make a prayer asking for Tara to help you in whatever way you need help. Think of the problems you have, the difficulties, the obstacles, the confusion, the doubts, the questions. So, what would you like to ask Tara to help you with? And just let those words pour out from your heart. And then visualize in response to your prayer, your request, visualize that from Tara's heart comes a stream of light, like a waterfall of light, and it comes right into you, flowing into you, filling you completely. Imagine it like an internal shower coming inside of us and filling our bodies, all the parts of our body, all the cells, molecules, atoms of our body, just getting totally filled with this light. And this light represents her wisdom and other qualities, her love, compassion, her blessings. And imagine that it helps you overcome or be free of whatever obstacles you have. And these can even mean things like physical problems, pain, sickness, obstacles, as well as emotional problems. So all these negative things or obstacles get clear it away, become non-existent. And feel that you get filled with the positive qualities that Tara has in her mind, and you also have in your mind, at least in potential form, in seed form. Imagine these positive qualities being strengthened and nourished, and so they can grow and develop. And while visualizing this, imagining this, we can also recite the mantra of Tara. Some of you might know the mantra. It's easy, so if you don't know it, you can just pick it up. I'll recite it a few times, and you can just join me if and when you wish to. Om tare tu re soha. 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 Now visualize that the entire image of Tara, including her lotus and moon disc cushion that she's sitting on, the whole thing completely melts into light, just pure light. And then that light comes into you, once again, filling you completely, flowing all through your body, down to your toes and fingertips, up to the top of your head. And it fills every part of your body, all the bones and muscles and organs, all the way out to your skin. And it fills the very subtle parts of your body, the cells, the molecules, the atoms, completely filling you. And feel completely purified, completely free of all problems, obstacles, all negative energy. Imagine all of that dissolving and disappearing. And feel completely full of Tara's very pure, blissful, positive energy, all her wonderful qualities, So feel that you merge with those, you become one with those. You and Tara become one in essence, in nature. And just let your mind rest in that experience for a little while. And feel this is your real nature. You're getting in touch with your real nature, who you really are. So just as this is our true nature, it's also the true nature of everyone else, all other people and other beings. That may be hard to believe when we think of people who do really terrible things, but they have this pure nature as well. They just don't see it, they don't know it, and instead they're completely caught up in confusion and disturbing emotions like anger, hatred, self centeredness, pride, and so on. But those negative qualities are not their real nature, and they're not permanent. They're not things that will be there forever and ever. Everyone has the potential to be free of those negative qualities and to realize their real nature and fulfill their potential to become Buddhas, to become fully awakened, just like Tara. So let's share the merit or positive energy we have created here tonight by doing this meditation and the other meditation we did earlier. So we definitely created some good energy, and now we can share that energy with others. So just make a wish or a prayer that the positive energy we've created here tonight or we've experienced here tonight, may it help all other people, all other beings be free of their confusion, their delusions, their negativities, their problems, and may they come to develop their positive potential to have love, compassion, wisdom, patience, and eventually become fully awakened, fully enlightened. So I wanted to stop a little early tonight just to talk about a few things. This is next week will be the last week that we will have classes here until the summer. And so we'll just have one more Tuesday night and Thursday night class next week. And then there's still one more activity we're having in the center, and that's a retreat on the path to enlightenment. I don't know if the information it's on the Facebook, right? Is it on the website as well? It is. Okay, so you can find out more information. So that'll start on the weekend, 1st and 2nd of July. And then for those who can stay longer, it'll go until the 6th of July, and then it'll be held here. So it's like a city retreat. And it's mainly for people who have been following the basic program, the Path to Enlightenment course. but it's open to other people who have some familiarity with the path to enlightenment, because we'll be doing meditations on those topics. But we'll also be doing some shamatha, calm abiding meditation. So you can find more information on the website. And then after that, and during the summer, the center will be closing down, and we'll be moving from here, and we'll start again in August, and we'll be um, using the facilities of, what's it called, Sangye Tashiling Karmapa Trust. Yeah, it's another Buddhist center. What's the name of the street that it's on?
It's on the street that turns into Kupigal. It's Fredericksburg.
Very close to Newport Station.
Newport, you start heading towards the round tower.
Yeah.
Kupigal, and then it's number 5.
Anyway, that information will be on the website sooner or later. And so we'll continue having Tuesday classes, and I'll most probably be teaching the Tuesday night, and Stefan Pende will teach on Thursday nights, and we'll also have some weekend courses as well. And I'm actually interested in knowing what people are interested in learning. So I made this. Some of you may have already received this and filled it out, but it's just a chance for you to express your interests in different topics. So you can put a tick by the topics you're interested in, and if there's something else you're interested in that's not mentioned here, you can write that in. So if any of you didn't get these, you can take one of these and then you can just give it back to me or leave it on the table over there. Was there something else I needed to mention?
So just whatever information for after the summer feels useful for people intending to come to the teachings.
Yeah. Yeah, because I'm coming back. I'm going away for the summer, and I'll be back the last 2 weeks of August. And then I'll be teaching those 2 weeks, and then September and October, and then I have to go away at the end of October for 3 months to Israel. So I'll be away for 3 months, and then Venerable Mary, who's taught here a number of times before, will come and teach November, December, and January. So no, that hasn't been decided yet. So that'll, yeah, to be announced. To be announced. But it partly depend on what you put down here, what you request. Not that we can fulfill everybody's request, but we'll try to see what most people are interested in.
Do they have a Buddhist center in Israel? I'm just curious.
Well, there's a lot of groups, but most of them don't have an actual physical location. Instead, they they keep in touch through phone and email and internet and so forth, and then they'll organize courses in. They rent facilities for retreats and talks, and sometimes they just meet in somebody's house and have discussion. There's a lot of interest in Buddhism. They're really a very, very strong interest. Yeah. A lot of Israeli Buddhists. Any other questions or comments or complaints? Oh, you didn't get one. Oh, sorry. Next Thursday, yeah, it will be another meditation like this, but with Chenrezig, Buddha of Compassion, and reciting the mantra Om Mani Padme Hum.
Could you just the spelling of the? I wrote it down, but the Tura, the
The
Tara.
mantra?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's usually spelled Om, O-M, and then Tare, T-A-R-E, Tare, Om Tare, Tutare, Tuttare, Tutare. Usually two T's, Tutare, and then Ture, Ture, Soha.
So Soha.
Yeah, Om Tare, Tutare, Ture, Soha.
Is this in your book? This meditation?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It is in your book.
I'm reading it right from the book.
I have the book.
You don't have to take notes. Yeah. On page 151. And there's a nice picture there as well. And there's also an explanation of the meaning of the mantra, what it means. People always like to know that. That's on page 216. Tara, the name or the term Tara itself means liberator. So Tara means the one who liberates, the one who frees. Rescuer, rescue me. Okay.
I'd like to say, and I don't know how. It's this next Easter. They just announced this at Lama Dorje. Well, the next Easter, the Ayan Rinpoche is going to be coming to teach the Poa.
Has he come before?
To teach the Poa.
Has he been to Denmark before?
Yeah,
I
take Peter and I had taken it back in the 70s, the late 70s, and he was probably maybe the most qualified teacher in the world to teach us, and he's going to be 76, so this will be probably the last time. So it's a big thing.
Is he the? Yeah, where does he live? He lives in India, or?
I'm not sure, but I just know that he's become very strict now. I think everyone's got to do at least 10,000 prostrations, or I don't know what the Lama Dorje is going to try to make it as easy as possible, but he's very tough. But it's a very, very important. It's supposed to be the direct road to
heaven.
I don't know if people here know what the Poa is.
You know what Poa? The word Poa means transference, like transferring. So it's a practice for you train yourself to transfer your mind to a pure land. It could be Amitabha's pure land, or there's many different pure lands, but it's usually Amitabha. That's the most kind of popular one. So you do this practice related to Amitabha Buddha, and you imagine your consciousness going out from the top of your head to Amitabha's Pure Land. So the idea is you train in this practice while you're alive, and then it's like preparation for the time of death. And then at the time of death, because you've already been doing this practice a lot during your life, then zip, you can just send your consciousness out to Amitabha's Pure Land. Then you don't have to worry about going to some bad place and suffering. Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, it's very powerful. But you need, you need instructions. You can't just do it on your own. You need initiation and instructions and guidance. You need to do it quite carefully. So he's quite a famous teacher of this practice. Is he the one that does every year? I think in Bulgaria in India. He might be him. And there's huge groups of people who go from all over the place to do it with him in Bulgaria.
So it's a big thing in Denmark that we had.
Yeah, but you have to check what the commitments are and so on. So you have to be prepared to do something.
Most people that do the Nundro, but the Nundro's been made easier now than it used to be. I mean, at my time it was 111,000 prostrations. That was just the first part of it. Now it's 10,000.
Oh, you get a reduction. Yeah.
But they were saying that with the Dalai Lama. I don't know how old the Dalai Lama is now. Let's see if I says
80,
he's
more than
80.
80.
Okay.
His birthday's coming up in July, July the 6th, and he will be 82. I think he was born in 1935.
God,
82.
most people thought he was in 70.
He looks young. He doesn't look like he's in his
1932 he was born.
35.
35. Because they were saying that when he decides to go wherever he's going to go, then it'll be the Karmapa that will be like the most powerful person in the whole Tibetan Buddhist world, and so that's going to be a big responsibility on his shoulders.
Hmm.
He has to take that.
But the Dalai Lama has said he's not going to go soon.
I
He's
hope
going to
not.
stay around a long time. Okay. Thank you. Good night.